Hello, English learners, and welcome. I'm your host, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Excited to chat about English learning today. Today, we're really getting into something practical, something that helps cut through the noise. We want to tackle a big question. How can you speak English more clearly, more concisely, make sure your message really lands?
Exactly. We've basically distilled it down to 7 essential tips. Our goal here really is to pull out strategies you can use, like right away, things that can genuinely change how you communicate. It's about moving from just being understood to, really being heard.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you might even notice that really fluent speakers use these techniques all the time, maybe without even thinking about it.
That's it. They become second nature.
It's not about having a huge vocabulary, is it? It's more about structuring your thoughts effectively. So let's dig in. Okay, first up, this one feels basic almost, but it's so important. Signpost language.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. Think of it like verbal road signs.
Hmm.
You're guiding your listener through your thoughts, showing them where you're going. Honestly, every native English speaker does this constantly.
You really do see it everywhere once you look. Like for sequencing ideas, you use first, next, finally, things like that. Even I just did it, right? Saying like, these words manage expectations. They tell the listener, okay, we're at this point in the argument.
Hmm?
And you use them to show how ideas connect too. Phrases like, for example, or in contrast, or similarly. The source had a good example, talking about stationery in South Korea, then saying, similarly, Japan also offers great stationery products.
Right?
That little word, similarly, just links it all up smoothly, makes it flow, keeps the listener with you.
Exactly.
And of course, shifting topics, moving on to or turning now to classic signposts.
It really is like providing a map. Without those signs, the listener can easily get lost. How do we get from point A to point B? But with them, they feel secure. Okay, first point done. Now we're switching gears. It just works.
That idea of a mental map, that's really helpful. Okay, so speaking of making ideas stick, the next one is all about impact. It's the rule of 3.
Ah, yes. This one's fascinating because it taps right into, well, how our brains process information, grouping things in threes.
Right.
It's not just style. It genuinely makes information easier to grab onto and, importantly, to remember.
Right.
There's a sort of rhythm to it, a completeness. Our brains seem to like that 3-part structure.
It feels satisfying somehow, and you see it everywhere. So practically, try structuring main points in threes. Like the source suggests, someone asks your favorite TV shows, don't list 16, just give your top 3.
Exactly.
Or drinks, I love apple, mango, and pineapple juice. Or maybe Sprite, Fanta, and grape soda. It just sounds punchier, more memorable. It's not just for lists, is it? Storytelling often uses it. That classic setup, confrontation, resolution.
Yes, the source even uses that for its own story time sections.
Yeah.
It's a very natural pattern for us.
It really is. Think about famous slogans or historical phrases.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Or even Churchill's blood, toil, tears, and sweat. Okay, that's 4, but the core impact feels like 3 plus 1 for emphasis. It have that persuasive cadence.
That's a great point about the persuasive power. Okay, tip number 3. This one feels a bit different because it's not about speaking directly. It's practice active listening.
Yeah, and that might seem counterintuitive, but think about it. How can you be a great communicator if you're not first great at receiving communication? By really listening, actively listening, you start to internalize what works, what makes communication effective, and that feeds directly back into your own speaking.
It's like doing research in real time. So how do you actually do it? Well, observe people whose speaking style you admire. When someone really holds your attention, don't just passively enjoy it. Try to figure out why.
Dissect it a bit.
Yeah. How do they organize their thoughts? Do they use storytelling? Do they maybe give 3 clear examples like we just discussed? Pay attention to what makes them clear and concise. Then consciously try to bring those elements into how you speak.
The source mentions its speaker using hand gestures, remember?
Oh, right. Like I'm giving you 3 points, holding
Sure.
up 3 fingers, or this is number 5, showing 5.
Exactly. That visual reinforcement helps the brain connect the auditory and the visual. It boosts understanding.
So it's about noticing that whole package, the words, the structure, even the body language.
Precisely. You're building up your own internal library of what good communication looks and sounds like. You learn the rhythms, the patterns.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, tip 4 is about efficiency, getting straight to the point. It's employ the bottom line up front, or BLUF.
BLUF.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is basically starting with your conclusion. Your main point comes first. Then you provide the backup, the supporting details. Prioritize that key message, right at the start.
And the effect on the listener. It's immediate, isn't it? It creates curiosity. I loved the movie analogy in The Source. Seeing someone crying on a boat, and you immediately wonder, what happened? Why are they crying?
Right. You get the outcome, and it makes you want the story.
So to use this, you literally lead with the conclusion. Like, the 5 W's method is the most powerful way to speak English fluently. Instantly, I'm thinking, okay, what are the 5 W's? How do they work? You can also use phrases like, the key takeaway is, or, so what this really means is, just signal that main point clearly before diving into the evidence.
It's like building an inverted pyramid.
Yeah.
Most important stuff right at the top.
Yeah.
And honestly, in today's world, people appreciate that. It respects their time, gets the core message across fast, especially useful in, say, work settings.
Definitely. Okay, number 5. This ties into making information easier to process for your audience. It's practice chunking information.
Chunking, right?
Right.
This is all about organizing your information into logical, manageable sections or groups. Clear English isn't just about vocabulary. It's hugely about how you structure your thoughts logically. And the good news is your listeners are smart. Their brains naturally look for patterns for related pieces of information. Chunking just helps that process along.
I like that emphasis, trusting the listener's intelligence. So practically, you group related ideas together. Like in this deep dive, we're sticking to these 7 tips. We're not suddenly throwing in random grammar points. It's one coherent chunk.
Correct.
And pauses are key here too, right? Taking a little pause between chunks.
Absolutely vital. It gives the listener's brain a moment to sort of file away the last chunk before you introduce the next one. It prevents overwhelm.
The Source had that great example about food.
Oh, yeah, the Indian food story.
Yeah, telling the whole story about the friend's mom's egg curry.
Yeah.
Then pausing, taking a breath, and then saying, okay, now let me tell you about Thai food. That clear signal, that little break, it makes all the difference. It keeps the listener oriented.
Those deliberate pauses and clear transitions. They're like cognitive breathers. They turn a potential flood of information into a clear, easy-to-follow stream.
Nicely put. Okay, tip number 6 is about streamlining. It's eliminate redundancy.
Basically, say it once, say it clearly. Avoid repeating the same idea in slightly different words unless you're doing it very deliberately for emphasis. Generally, being concise is better. It's about linguistic efficiency.
Right. So how do we practice this? Well, look at your own speech or writing. Do you find yourself saying the same thing 2 or 3 times? If so, pick the clearest, most impactful way you said it and cut the others. The Source used the Indian food example again here, saying it was amazing, awesome, and really matches my taste buds. Amazing and awesome are okay, but a bit vague. Really matches my taste buds is much more specific. It tells you why it's good for that person. Maybe they like spicy food or well-seasoned food. It adds more information.
Exactly. It carries more meaning per word.
So look for those precise words and also swap out wordy phrases, like instead of at this point in time.
Now, exactly.
Or due to the fact that just use because. Be ruthless.
It demonstrates clarity of thought, too. If you can say it concisely, it suggests you understand it well.
That's a good point. Precision equals clarity. Okay, our final tip, number 7. This is a really interesting visualization technique. Create a mental framework.
This is about using visualization, using mental imagery, to organize and recall your points. It's like building an internal structure, a blueprint for what you want to say. It really helps you deliver your message clearly and concisely because you're not scrambling for the next point.
This sounds super helpful, especially if you get nervous or tend to lose your train of thought. So how does it work? You could visualize your speech like a journey or a building.
Right.
Like the Source speaker's example of her time in South Korea. She could link memories to places. The institute, the restaurant with her friend Alma, the mountain she visited. Each location holds a specific part of the story.
That spatial memory is powerful.
Or the other example, associating family members with fruits. Dad's an apple, mom's a banana, sister's a grape, brother's a walnut.
It sounds maybe a bit quirky, but
it works. It's memorable because it's concrete and maybe a little unusual. That connection makes recall much easier. So the idea is to practice mentally walking through this framework before you speak. Connect familiar images or places to the points you need to make. It makes it feel less like reciting facts and more like telling a story you know well.
It anchors abstract ideas to something tangible that boosts your confidence and makes the delivery feel much more natural and structured.
Okay, so we've covered these 7 tips: signposting, rule of 3, active listening, BLUF, chunking, cutting redundancy, mental frameworks, all really practical stuff. But how does this connect to, actual human interaction, the messy part?
Well, the source speaker, Tafani, shared a very personal story that illustrates this beautifully. She mentioned she lived in South Korea for about 10 years, teaching missionary work, grad school. And as an African-American woman there, she was aware that sometimes people's understanding of her background might come mainly from, say, TV shows, which isn't always the full picture.
Right. So she described this one time she was on a busy train, standing room only, and there was a group of Korean teenagers nearby. They didn't know she spoke Korean, and they started talking about her quite openly,
Mm.
pointing out her appearance, her skin tone, her afro hairstyle at the time, saying things like, wow, look, she's black, her hair is so different. Clearly just curious, probably hadn't seen someone like her up close before.
Now, that could easily be an uncomfortable, even upsetting moment for someone.
For sure.
But Tafani, she reframed it. She saw it not as an offense, but as an opportunity to connect, to share something. That shift in perspective is key.
And what she did was pretty amazing. She just turned to them and in fluent Korean said something like, hey, how's it going?
Imagine their surprise.
Totally. And apparently they were delighted. She started chatting with them, asked about their day, shared a bit about her life in Korea. They felt comfortable enough to ask her questions back about her culture, her experiences. She said it became this really nice, positive interaction. And she felt she might have genuinely shifted their perspective a bit, simply by being open and communicative, showing them the person behind the appearance they found unfamiliar.
And that story, it really brings it home for all of us, doesn't it? When you encounter someone who seems unfamiliar with who you are, your background, your culture, it doesn't have to be a barrier. It can actually be, well, a privilege, a chance to share, to educate, maybe just to connect on a human level.
Yeah.
It's about seeing your own uniqueness as valuable and using clear communication, using these very tips we've discussed as the bridge to build understanding, even across differences.
Yeah.
Hashtag, tag, outro.
So wrapping things up, we've covered a lot today. 7 really solid strategies: signposting, the rule of 3, active listening, BLUF, chunking, ditching redundancy, and building those mental frameworks. These aren't just theories. They're practical tools you can use right now to make your English clearer, more concise, more impactful.
Absolutely. And remember what we said earlier, you are logical. You are intelligent. Great communication isn't about using the most words or the fanciest words. It's about using the right words in the right order, logically and clearly. It's about sharing your thoughts effectively.
And thinking back to Tafani's story, it's a powerful reminder, isn't it? Clear communication is more than just transmitting information. It's about connection. It's about turning moments of potential misunderstanding into moments of shared humanity. So here's a thought to leave you with. What's one small change, maybe inspired by one of these tips, that you could try in your very next conversation? How can you use it to build a slightly better, clearer connection?
Keep exploring. Keep practicing. It makes a difference.